Question 1. What was the significance of the Statute of Puddlen in 1284? A. It established English law in Wales. B. It declared Welsh independence from England. C. It introduced the feudal system to England. D. It ended the War of the Roses. Answer. A. It established English law in Wales. The Statute of Puddlen in 1284 was significant for integrating the legal system of Wales into that of England, extending English law to Wales. Question 2. How did the Reform Act of 1832 impact the representation of boroughs? A. It reduced the number of boroughs represented in Parliament. B. It increased the representation of rural areas. C. It redistributed seats to more populous boroughs. D. It eliminated all boroughs from parliamentary representation. Answer. C. It redistributed seats to more populous boroughs. The Reform Act of 1832 significantly changed the British electoral system by redistributing parliamentary seats from less populated rural boroughs to more populous urban ones. Question 3. What led to the decline of the British textile industry in the 20th century? A. Increased global competition. B. Lack of raw materials. C. Government regulations. D. Internal labour disputes. Answer. A. Increased global competition. The decline of the British textile industry in the 20th century was primarily due to increased competition from countries with lower production costs. Question 4. What was the main consequence of the Treaty of Edinburgh in 1560? A. It ended the old alliance between Scotland and France. B. It recognised Scottish independence from England. C. It established Protestantism in Scotland. D. It led to the Union of the Crowns. Answer. A. It ended the old alliance between Scotland and France. The Treaty of Edinburgh in 1560 marked the end of the old alliance and led to the withdrawal of French troops from Scotland. Question 5. Who were the Levellers, and what did they advocate during the English Civil War? A. They were a faction that sought to protect the monarchy. B. They pushed for democratic reforms, such as voting rights for men. C. They supported the establishment of a new monarchy. D. They were against any form of democratic representation. Answer. B. They pushed for democratic reforms, such as voting rights for men. The Levellers were a political movement during the English Civil War advocating for extended suffrage, equality before the law, and religious tolerance. Question 6. Describe the role of the British East India Company in the expansion of the British Empire. A. It served as a private military contractor. B. It was primarily a cultural exchange organization. C. It led colonial expansion in India through trade and conquest. D. It focused on exploring uninhabited territories. Answer. C. It led colonial expansion in India through trade and conquest. The British East India Company played a crucial role in the expansion of the British Empire in India, managing trade and engaging in political and military activities. Question 7. What were the Corn Laws and what impact did their repeal have on Britain? A. Tariffs on imported grain. Their repeal led to agricultural decline. B. Laws governing corn production. Their repeal boosted the economy. C. Trade laws with the US. Their repeal decreased trade deficits. D. Taxation laws on local corn sales. Their repeal reduced tax revenues. Answer. A. Tariffs on imported grain. Their repeal led to agricultural decline. The Corn Laws were tariffs and restrictions on imported grain designed to keep grain prices high to favour domestic producers. Their repeal in 1846 led to increased trade and lower food prices, but also hurt agricultural landlords. Question 8. What was the primary cause of the Jacobite Rising of 1745? A. Economic dissatisfaction in Scotland. B. Desire to restore James II and his descendants to the British throne. C. Conflict between Catholic and Protestant factions. D. A dispute over land ownership laws in Scotland. Answer. B. Desire to restore James II and his descendants to the British throne. The Jacobite Rising of 1745 was primarily caused by supporters of the deposed James II and his descendants attempting to restore them to the British throne. Question 9. Who was responsible for the Plantagenet dynasty coming to power in England? A. Henry Tudor. B. William the Conqueror. C. Henry II. D. Edward III. Answer. C. Henry II. Henry II's accession marked the beginning of the Plantagenet dynasty in England, which lasted until the 15th century. Question 10. How did the Battle of the Somme affect British military strategy during World War I? A. It led to the adoption of trench warfare. B. It prompted a re-evaluation of military tactics and leadership. C. It resulted in the immediate end of the war. D. It caused Britain to seek peace negotiations with Germany. Answer. B. It prompted a re-evaluation of military tactics and leadership. The Battle of the Somme was a devastating conflict that caused massive British casualties, leading to significant changes in military strategy and command structures. Question 11. What were the main provisions of the Acts of Union 1800 between Great Britain and Ireland? A. They created a single parliament for the Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland. B. They separated the parliaments of Great Britain and Ireland. C. They established Ireland as an independent country. D. They dissolved the monarchy in Ireland. Answer. A. They created a single parliament for the Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland. The Acts of Union 1800 unified the parliaments of Great Britain and Ireland into a single body, creating the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland. Question 12. Describe the impact of the Great Famine on Irish migration patterns. A. It led to a significant decrease in the population of Ireland due to death and emigration. B. It caused a temporary increase in Ireland's population. C. It had no significant impact on migration. D. It resulted in the migration of the Irish to Northern Europe. Answer. A. It led to a significant decrease in the population of Ireland due to death and emigration. The Great Famine in the mid-19th century caused widespread starvation and disease, leading to a mass emigration of Irish people, primarily to North America and Great Britain. Question 13. What was the purpose of the Royal Proclamation of 1763 issued by King George III? A. To declare war on France. B. To end the 7 Years' War. C. To organize the North American colonies and stabilize relations with Native American tribes. D. To announce the independence of the American colonies. Answer. C. To organize the North American colonies and stabilize relations with Native American tribes. The Royal Proclamation of 1763 was designed to manage Britain's newly acquired North American territories and mitigate conflicts with indigenous peoples by setting boundaries for colonial expansion. Question 14. How did the Glorious Revolution of 1688 alter the succession to the English throne? A. It placed William III and Mary II on the throne. B. It restored Charles II to the throne. C. It led to the abdication of Elizabeth I. D. It initiated the reign of Queen Victoria. Answer: A. It placed William III and Mary II on the throne. The Glorious Revolution resulted in the deposition of James II and the installation of William III and Mary II, establishing a constitutional monarchy and setting the stage for modern British democracy. Question 15. What economic policy did Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher implement in the 1980s? A. Nationalisation of key industries. B. Implementation of neoliberal policies, including privatisation and deregulation. C. Expansion of the welfare state. D. Increased taxation and public spending. Answer: B. Implementation of neoliberal policies, including privatisation and deregulation. Margaret Thatcher's economic policy, known as Thatcherism, emphasised reducing the role of the state in the economy, privatising state-owned enterprises, reducing public expenditure, and promoting the free market. Question 16. Explain the significance of the Beveridge Report during World War II. A. It outlined plans for post-war economic development. B. It was a military strategy document. C. It proposed the creation of the welfare state. D. It detailed plans for the partition of Germany. Answer: C. It proposed the creation of the welfare state. The Beveridge Report, published in 1942, was influential in the establishment of the welfare state in the UK, outlining proposals for a comprehensive range of social insurance, from unemployment to health benefits. Question 17. What were the main findings of the Domesday Book, commissioned by William the Conqueror? A. It was a list of criminal laws. B. It recorded details of land holdings and resources in England. C. It outlined military strategies. D. It documented the genealogies of noble families. Answer: B. It recorded details of land holdings and resources in England. The Domesday Book, compiled in 1086, was a comprehensive survey detailing the land holdings and resources of England used for tax assessment purposes. Question 18. What led to the formation of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland in 1922? A. The unification of the Scottish and English parliaments. B. The dissolution of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland following the Irish Free State's independence. C. The merger of Wales and England. D. The defeat of the Spanish Armada. Answer: B. The dissolution of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland following the Irish Free State's independence. The formation of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland occurred in 1922 after the establishment of the Irish Free State, which left Northern Ireland as part of the UK. Question 19. How did the British government respond to the Indian Rebellion of 1857? A. It granted independence to India. B. It began the process of decolonization. C. It took direct control of India from the British East India Company. D. It implemented democratic reforms in India. Answer: C. It took direct control of India from the British East India Company. Following the Indian Rebellion of 1857, the British government enacted the Government of India Act 1858, which transferred the administration of India from the Company to the Crown, marking the beginning of the British Raj. Question 20. What is the historical significance of the Battle of Agincourt in 1415? A. It marked the beginning of the English Renaissance. B. It was a decisive victory in the 100 Years' War that established England as a European power. C. It led to the fall of the Plantagenet dynasty. D. It resulted in the loss of English territories in France. Answer: B. It was a decisive victory in the 100 Years' War that established England as a European power, the Battle of Agincourt, where English forces defeated a much larger French army, is celebrated for the effectiveness of the English longbow and is a symbol of national pride. Question 21. What role did the UK play in the formation of the United Nations? A. It was the principal host of the founding conference. B. It was one of the 5 original permanent members of the Security Council. C. It opposed the formation of the United Nations. D. It played a minor role and joined only after its establishment. Answer. B. It was one of the 5 original permanent members of the Security Council. The UK was instrumental in the formation of the United Nations and became one of the original permanent members of the UN Security Council. Question 22. What was the impact of the English Bill of Rights in 1689 on the monarchy? A. It abolished the monarchy. B. It significantly limited the powers of the monarchy. C. It expanded the powers of the monarchy. D. It had no impact on the monarchy. Answer. B. It significantly limited the powers of the monarchy. The English Bill of Rights in 1689 was a critical document that limited the powers of the monarchy and laid the foundation for a constitutional monarchy in Britain. Question 23. Who were the Chartists, and what were their main demands in the 19th century? A. A political movement demanding the abolition of the monarchy. B. A workers' group advocating for better labour conditions. C. A radical political movement that sought universal male suffrage and electoral reform. D. A religious group seeking freedom of worship. Answer. C. A radical political movement that sought universal male suffrage and electoral reform. The Chartists were a significant working-class movement in the 19th century Britain, advocating for sweeping electoral reforms, including universal male suffrage. Question 24. Describe the changes brought about by the Parliament Act of 1911. A. It established the supremacy of the House of Commons over the House of Lords. B. It dissolved the Parliament. C. It created the position of Prime Minister. D. It removed all hereditary peers from the House of Lords. Answer. A. It established the supremacy of the House of Commons over the House of Lords. The Parliament Act of 1911 was a pivotal reform that limited the powers of the House of Lords and reinforced the primacy of the House of Commons. Question 25. What were the outcomes of the Treaty of Utrecht in 1713 for Britain? A. It led to Britain gaining control over territories in Africa. B. It resulted in significant territorial gains in North America and Europe. C. It confirmed British losses in the Napoleonic Wars. D. It established British dominion over the seas. Answer. B. It resulted in significant territorial gains in North America and Europe. The Treaty of Utrecht ended the War of the Spanish Succession and was advantageous for Britain, securing territories such as Gibraltar and parts of Canada. Question 26. How did the British government address the economic crisis of the 1970s? A. By joining the European Economic Community. B. By nationalising major industries. C. By implementing strict protectionist policies. D. By deregulating the financial sector. Answer. A. By joining the European Economic Community. One of the key measures to address economic challenges in the 1970s was Britain's decision to join the European Economic Community, EC, in 1973, aiming to boost economic growth through closer integration with Europe. Question 27. What was the significance of the Anglo-Irish Treaty of 1921? A. It led to the creation of the Irish Free State. B. It resulted in Ireland's complete unification. C. It declared war between Britain and Ireland. D. It integrated Ireland into the United Kingdom. Answer: A. It led to the creation of the Irish Free State. The Anglo-Irish Treaty of 1921 was a crucial agreement that ended the Irish War of Independence and led to the establishment of the Irish Free State, a dominion within the British Empire. Question 28. Explain the historical context and impact of the Suez Crisis of 1956. A. It strengthened British control over the Middle East. B. It marked the end of British imperial power on the global stage. C. It led to a major military victory for Britain. D. It initiated a lasting peace in the Middle East. Answer: B. It marked the end of British imperial power on the global stage. The Suez Crisis of 1956 was a significant geopolitical event where Britain's involvement and subsequent withdrawal under international pressure highlighted the decline of its global imperial influence. Question 29. Who was Oliver Cromwell, and what was his role during the English Civil War? A. A monarch who sought to restore Catholicism. B. A military leader and later Lord Protector of the Commonwealth of England. C. A royalist general. D. A playwright who documented the war. Answer: B. A military leader and later Lord Protector of the Commonwealth of England. Oliver Cromwell was a key figure in the English Civil War, leading forces against the monarchy and eventually serving as the Lord Protector in the Republican Commonwealth. Question 30. What led to the abolition of the slave trade in the British Empire in 1807? A. Economic pressures. B. Military defeat. C. A treaty with France. D. Humanitarian and political campaigns. Answer: D. Humanitarian and political campaigns. The abolition of the slave trade in the British Empire in 1807 was primarily the result of prolonged humanitarian campaigns by figures such as William Wilberforce, alongside growing political and public support for abolition. Question 31. What was the significance of the Battle of Trafalgar in 1805? A. It was a minor skirmish with little impact. B. It ensured British naval dominance for over a century. C. It resulted in Britain losing control of the seas. D. It triggered the start of the Industrial Revolution. Answer: B. It ensured British naval dominance for over a century. The Battle of Trafalgar was a decisive naval battle during the Napoleonic Wars, where Admiral Lord Nelson defeated the combined fleets of France and Spain, securing British naval supremacy. Question 32. How did the Industrial Revolution affect urbanization in Britain? A. It slowed down as people moved back to rural areas. B. It led to a decrease in urban populations. C. It dramatically accelerated urban growth and development. D. It had no impact on urbanization. Answer: C. It dramatically accelerated urban growth and development. The Industrial Revolution was a major driver of urbanization in Britain, as people moved to cities in large numbers for employment opportunities in new factories and industries. Question 33. What role did Britain play in the Treaty of Versailles? A. It was primarily opposed to the treaty. B. It played a minor role with little influence on the terms. C. It was one of the principal architects of the treaty. D. It focused on mediating between France and Germany. Answer: C. It was one of the principal architects of the treaty. Britain, represented by Prime Minister David Lloyd George, was one of the key players in shaping the Treaty of Versailles, which formally ended World War I and imposed various terms on Germany. Question 34. Explain the origins and outcomes of the Wars of the Roses. A. It originated from a dispute over the English crown between the House of Lancaster and the House of York, leading to the Tudor dynasty. B. It was a series of battles between Scotland and England with no significant outcomes. C. It involved disputes over land ownership in England. D. It was based on religious differences within England. Answer. A. It originated from a dispute over the English crown between the House of Lancaster and the House of York, leading to the Tudor dynasty. The Wars of the Roses were a dynastic series of conflicts in the 15th century that ultimately led to the establishment of the Tudor dynasty with Henry VII's victory. Question 35. What was the impact of the Black Death on medieval England? A. It led to a stronger monarchy. B. It had minimal impact on the population and economy. C. It caused significant population loss and social upheavals. D. It triggered immediate industrial growth. Answer. C. It caused significant population loss and social upheavals. The Black Death, which struck England in the mid-14th century, led to massive population decline and major social and economic changes, including labour shortages and shifts in social structures. Question 36. How did the British government facilitate the Industrial Revolution through legislation? A. By passing laws that restricted industrial expansion. B. By implementing protectionist trade policies. C. By providing subsidies for agricultural businesses only. D. By supporting infrastructure development and enforcing property rights. Answer. D. By supporting infrastructure development and enforcing property rights. The British government facilitated the Industrial Revolution by passing legislation that supported infrastructure development like roads and canals, and by enforcing laws that protected inventions and property. Question 37. Describe the events and significance of the Peterloo Massacre in 1819. A. It was a festive gathering that marked the end of the Napoleonic Wars. B. It was a peaceful protest that turned violent when cavalry charged the crowd, highlighting the need for political reform. C. It was a battle between rival political factions with no lasting impact. D. It involved a large celebration with royal attendance. Answer. B. It was a peaceful protest that turned violent when cavalry charged the crowd, highlighting the need for political reform. The Peterloo Massacre occurred during a rally in Manchester where people were demanding parliamentary reform. The ensuing violence and deaths marked a turning point in public awareness and demand for political change. Question 38. What was the role of the Privy Council in medieval England? A. It served as the primary legislative body. B. It acted as a ceremonial group with no real power. C. It was the monarch's private advisory body, influencing government decisions. D. It functioned as the judicial arm of the monarchy. Answer. C. It was the monarch's private advisory body influencing government decisions. The Privy Council was an important institution in medieval England, advising the king on matters of state, law, and administration. Question 39. How did the British Empire contribute to the development of global trade networks? A. By isolating itself from international trade. B. By establishing and controlling trade routes and colonies around the world. C. By discouraging maritime exploration. D. By focusing solely on domestic trade. Answer. B. By establishing and controlling trade routes and colonies around the world. The British Empire played a crucial role in the development of global trade networks through its extensive colonies and maritime dominance, facilitating international trade and exchange. Question 40. What are the origins and significance of the Magna Carta of 1215? A. It was created to reaffirm the rights of serfdom. B. It outlined the rules for monarchical succession. C. It granted universal suffrage. D. It established the principle that everyone, including the king, is subject to the law. Answer: D. It established the principle that everyone, including the king, is subject to the law. The Magna Carta, signed in 1215, is a landmark document in British and world history that established key legal principles, including the rule of law and the rights of individuals against the Crown. Question 41. Explain the impact of the witch trials in early modern Britain. A. They led to the establishment of the Church of England. B. They resulted in significant legal reforms. C. They exemplified the conflict between science and superstition. D. They caused the deaths of many, reflecting the period's social and religious tensions. Answer: D. They caused the deaths of many, reflecting the period's social and religious tensions. The witch trials in early modern Britain were marked by hysteria and fear, leading to the persecution and execution of many accused of witchcraft, highlighting the era's deep social and religious anxieties. Question 42. What role did British scientists play in the development of the theory of evolution? A. They disproved the theory. B. Charles Darwin, a British scientist, was pivotal in proposing the theory. C. They played only a minor supporting role. D. British scientists primarily opposed the theory throughout. Answer: B. Charles Darwin, a British scientist, was pivotal in proposing the theory. Charles Darwin, with his publication of On the Origin of Species in 1859, significantly advanced the development of the theory of evolution, influencing the scientific community and broader societal views on natural history. Question 43. How did the Battle of Britain influence the outcome of World War II? A. It led to a quick end to the war. B. It was a decisive victory that prevented a German invasion of Britain. C. It had little impact on the war's overall direction. D. It resulted in Britain negotiating peace with Germany. Answer: B. It was a decisive victory that prevented a German invasion of Britain. The Battle of Britain was a crucial conflict during World War II, where the British Royal Air Force defended the UK against large-scale attacks by Nazi Germany's Air Force, ultimately preventing a planned invasion. Question 44. What were the main reasons for the establishment of the welfare state post-World War II? A. To dismantle the existing healthcare system. B. To provide comprehensive social security, health and educational reforms. C. To reduce government involvement in everyday life. D. To privatize national industries. Answer: B. To provide comprehensive social security, health and educational reforms. The establishment of the welfare state in Britain after World War II aimed to provide universal care and protection to all citizens, significantly reforming public welfare, healthcare, and education systems. Question 45. Describe the economic and political conditions that led to the rise of Thatcherism. A. A strong economy and low unemployment. B. High inflation, unemployment, and a perceived decline in Britain's global influence. C. Minimal government and deregulated markets. D. Economic boom and stable political environment. Answer: B. High inflation, unemployment, and a perceived decline in Britain's global influence. Thatcherism rose in response to economic stagnation, high inflation and unemployment, along with the sense that Britain's post-war consensus had led to decline, advocating for free market policies, deregulation and reduced state intervention. Question 46. What was the significance of the Falklands War for British foreign policy? A. It had no significant impact. B. It led to the fall of the British government. C. It reaffirmed Britain's willingness to defend its overseas territories. D. It resulted in significant territorial losses for Britain. Answer. C. It reaffirmed Britain's willingness to defend its overseas territories. The Falklands War in 1982 was significant for demonstrating Britain's commitment to defending its territories and maintaining its stance on national sovereignty, also boosting national pride and government popularity. Question 47. How did the Reform Act of 1867 differ from that of 1832 in terms of electoral reform? A. It restricted the electorate, reducing voter numbers. B. It expanded suffrage significantly more than the earlier Act. C. It abolished the need for property qualifications altogether. D. It had less impact on electoral reform than the 1832 Act. Answer. B. It expanded suffrage significantly more than the earlier Act. The Reform Act of 1867, also known as the Second Reform Act, expanded the electorate to include more working-class men, unlike the 1832 Act, which had been more conservative in its extensions. Question 48. What role did Britain play in the establishment of the State of Israel? A. It led the military campaign that established Israel. B. It opposed the creation of Israel. C. It administered the region under the British Mandate and later supported the UN partition plan. D. It had no role in the process. Answer. C. It administered the region under the British Mandate and later supported the UN partition plan. Britain played a complex role in the establishment of Israel, first administering Palestine under the British Mandate and later supporting plans for a Jewish state alongside an Arab state in the region. Question 49. Explain the significance of the Mary Rose in Tudor naval history. A. It was the first ship built by Henry VIII and symbolized the start of English naval power. B. It was involved in the defeat of the Spanish Armada. C. It marked the decline of Tudor naval dominance. D. It served as a museum ship from the Tudor era. Answer. A. It was the first ship built by Henry VIII and symbolized the start of English naval power. The Mary Rose was King Henry VIII's flagship, playing a crucial role in wars against France and Scotland, and symbolizing the rise of Tudor naval power. Question 50. What were the causes and effects of the English Reformation under Henry VIII? A. It was driven by economic factors and resulted in the dissolution of monasteries. B. It was prompted by Henry VIII's desire for a male heir and led to the establishment of the Church of England. C. It began as a political movement and ended with significant territorial expansion. D. It was initiated for theological reasons and had minimal effects. Answer. B. It was prompted by Henry VIII's desire for a male heir and led to the establishment of the Church of England. The English Reformation was significantly influenced by Henry VIII's personal and dynastic concerns, leading to the break with the Roman Catholic Church and significant religious and social transformations. Question 51. How did the Cable Street Battle of 1936 shape British social policy? A. It led to the immediate implementation of social welfare programs. B. It had little impact on social policies. C. It increased awareness and actions against fascism and anti-Semitism. D. It resulted in stricter law enforcement practices nationwide. Answer: C. It increased awareness and actions against fascism and anti-Semitism. The Battle of Cable Street was a significant anti-fascist clash in London that raised public and governmental awareness about the dangers of fascism, influencing subsequent policies concerning public order and race relations. Question 52. What were the main legal changes brought about by the Married Women's Property Act 1882? A. It allowed married women to inherit property independently of their husbands. B. It prohibited women from owning property. C. It mandated joint property ownership between spouses. D. It limited property rights to unmarried women. Answer: A. It allowed married women to inherit property independently of their husbands. The Married Women's Property Act 1882 was a landmark law that significantly altered the legal status of married women, allowing them to own, buy, and sell property in their own right, independent of their husbands. Question 53. What was the significance of the Great Exhibition of 1851? A. It showcased British military innovations. B. It marked the beginning of Britain's decline as an industrial power. C. It was the first international exhibition of manufactured products, highlighting Britain's industrial leadership. D. It focused on agricultural advancements only. Answer: C. It was the first international exhibition of manufactured products, highlighting Britain's industrial leadership. The Great Exhibition of 1851, held in London's Crystal Palace, displayed innovations from around the world and emphasized Britain's role at the forefront of the Industrial Revolution. Question 54. How did the British government respond to the American Declaration of Independence? A. It immediately recognized American independence. B. It launched a military campaign to suppress the American Revolution. C. It offered a peaceful resolution and negotiation. D. It ignored the declaration completely. Answer: B. It launched a military campaign to suppress the American Revolution. After the American colonies declared independence in 1776, Britain sought to retain control by military means, leading to the Revolutionary War. Question 55. What are the historical origins and functions of the Commonwealth Games? A. Originated in 1930 as a means to improve cultural ties within the British Empire, now promotes sport and camaraderie among Commonwealth nations. B. Started in 1950 to compete with the Olympic Games. C. Established in 1900 to showcase military strength. D. Began in 1948 to promote peace through sports. Answer: A. Originated in 1930 as a means to improve cultural ties within the British Empire, now promotes sport and camaraderie among Commonwealth nations. The Commonwealth Games, originally known as the British Empire Games, were created to foster goodwill and mutual understanding among the nations of the Commonwealth, featuring athletes from these countries in a multi-sport event.